Hi guys, you're so welcome back to our channel, Narc Con, where we deal with all things in relation to narcissists, narcissistic abuse, how to make sense of what happened to us, how to navigate what's happening to us if we're still in that energy field with a narcissist at the moment, and how to proceed going forward where we are not so vulnerable to these narcissistic predators. So the title of the video is How the Narcissist's Darkness Can Spiritually Distract You at a time in your life, basically, when you're doing well. I would also liken it to how a narcissist can take you off your path. And I'd also liken the narcissist to literally a Walking Dead figure. I don't know if any of you watch that series. I must say I enjoy it a lot myself. The Walking Dead itself. That is what I would compare the soul of a narcissist to. Literally nothing inside, but the physical functions are all working, unfortunately. Okay, so how does a narcissist spiritually distract us? How do they take us off our path? Or why do we meet them at a certain time in life when we're actually pretty steady? You know, we've maybe been through a vulnerable period, but we're back on track and we're working towards something and we're in a good place. And I'm telling you guys, that's exactly when they come in. That is exactly when they come in. And if you're to look at the world, as you know I do in this channel, as energy and as good energy and bad energy, I really sense that when someone is about to bloom and about to flourish, or has survived a lot of knocks in life and is on a steady path, the narcissist will jump in. And it'll be your brick wall narcissist. It'll be the narcissist who cracks you open and who distracts you. And their agenda is, as I'm going to lay it out now, so that you can maybe reflect on what happened to you and understand how absolutely vital it is to distance yourself, to get them out of your life, particularly if it was an intimate relationship, and to forge forward on the path that they specifically wanted to take you off. And I absolutely believe that it's strategic in terms of light and dark. And as you know, I believe that these bodies or these souls have been taken over by what they've concentrated on, and that's a dark spiritual energy, unfortunately. So, the basic narcissist's agenda, I'm just looking at my notes here as we go along. I don't want to leave anything out on this particular podcast. The narcissist is there to, when they attach to you or when they target you, they're there to get fed. They are there for narcissistic supply, which they believe they'll get from you. And that's your emotional reaction to them. That's your financial resources. That's the status you offer. That's the ideas you may have that they want to steal from you. That's them observing you and your character traits that they want to take on. They might even start to dress the same as you or do their house up the same way you do yours. They're there as a non-entity to attach parts of you onto them and to take from you. They're there to feel empowered, because empowerment in a narcissistic individual is as near as they get to a sense of happiness, joy, or fulfillment. It doesn't verge on those positivities because they actually don't believe in those positivities. They have rejected them. They have looked upon them as weaknesses in life. They don't believe in those positive qualities of happiness, joy, and peace. They've rejected them. And they've concentrated on another way of living their lives. And the empowerment they get is from seeing the effect the hologram that they are is having on you. That makes them feel powerful, feel electrified, and they're working on full power, basically. Empowerment. The third thing they, in my opinion, come to you for is they're living a way of life that they believe in. And they ridicule anybody that doesn't live like them. And that's with the qualities of ruthlessness, taking from people, destroying things that are good because they threaten a narcissist's control. So ultimately, again, they want to embitter you so much, and we'll get to that at the end. They want you to start to live like they live, but they're going to do it better than you. But they want you, all your good qualities gone. They want to smash through what they consider is weakness, and they want to prove to you, themselves, and the world that this destructive, malign way of living is the best way and the only way, so that therefore they're right. The narcissist always has to be right. I'm going to take us through the stages of what the narcissist does and how they actually take a person who is about to maybe blossom or flourish in their life. Maybe you've come up with a business idea. Maybe you've recovered from the death of a loved one. Maybe you've got your life on track after a big custody battle, for the children. Everything is smoothly working along and you're open to having a relationship because you feel like you're in a good place, albeit vulnerable. You may be lonely, you may be looking for something extra, or just being a normal human being and wanting to be loved and love someone else and share your life with someone. Along comes the spider, Mr. or Mrs. Narcissist, to encroach upon what you have worked hard for, developed, and are about to produce. So how do they spiritually distract you? It's actually a form of addictive distraction. And as you know, anyone that's gone through it, even after the narcissist has left, that can be the worst part of their spiritual distraction, or the scent, the cloying scent or the fog they leave behind. And that can often be the hardest part of the journey to extricate yourself from and go on to reestablish your enthusiasm for life, your motivation for life, your belief in yourself, and your belief in good people. Right, so the narcissist targets us in a glittering sense. They often can shine, they often can look great, they often can look like the victim. They will glitter on the outside. And as I think it's in The Merchant of Venice, it says, there's a quote, "All that glitters is not gold. Often have you heard that told." Tell me if I'm doing it wrong. Anyway, the narcissist glitters and draws us in either their attractive, somatically narcissist body, physique, intellect, in whatever way they can, they'll draw you in, and they will appear to be a person of high integrity, good nature, beautiful, attractive, enthusiastic, all those things. And it's hard to spot until you get what I would call a good sniffer nose for a narcissist. And even at that, they can fool you up to a certain point in time. But it's the energy as well as your sniffer nose that you go, uh-oh, there's one at 3 o'clock and there's one at 5 o'clock and I'm getting out of here. It's I know it's not a joking matter, guys, but you literally go, oh, you're attractive, aren't you? You've got a good sense of humor. I feel one at my side and I'm not engaging. Okay. So the addictive program, initially, I suppose it's called the love bomb stage, but it's their hunting stage. In order for a narcissist to be able to feed off their prey safely, they have to tie you down. They have to get you to a place in this modern world that they can't get you and tie you up with a rope and imprison you in a room. That's not going to be possible. So they have to psychologically and spiritually imprison you and distract you from your purpose. They will use different techniques in order to do this. And I'm going to look at my list here and run through them quickly until we get into the next phases. They will future fake you to the hilt, as you know. They'll make this beautiful future for you to believe in. And it will be believable. It'll be about, we'll do this together, we'll do that together, we'll support each other, we're better together, two's better. They'll mirror you, they'll future fake you. One of the things that is highly addictive, and beware of this if anybody's doing it to you at the moment, it's the intense and persistent interest in you as a person. And what I mean by that is they're intensely interested in everything you think, feel, see, how you are, your history, asking you personal questions, finding out information about you. That's highly addictive, particularly if you didn't have that as a child. And even if you did have it as a child, it can re-engage those feelings of unconditional love, parental interest, self-actualization, all the goodies that are fantastic and healthy in a good environment, but not when you're being set up to be somebody's dinner. They will take you on the greatest ego trips. You deserve this, you deserve this. You're a great person, we're great together. We deserve what they have. All these things, the ego, you look great in that, you'd look better in this. They bring you on all these ego trips. So you're becoming more egocentric in yourself. We all have egos. We all have narcissism. We all have potential to be narcissistic and to go into the more narcissistic side of ourselves. Not the personality disordered narcissist, but we all can veer away from the higher self and the spiritualism and the good energy over to this tempting side. I mean, the devil's not going to come to you with horns, swishing his tail and smacking you in the face and saying, I want to eat you, come. It's going to be very attractive, guys. Going to use humor as well. Charm, the charms. Very hard to resist, very hard to say, well, am I giving up something worthwhile here, like something good? You got to take this slow because they're persistent. They will keep knocking and knocking and knocking. They'll give you all this persistent attention for a period of time. Then you know the old game. They take it away. They see how far you come towards them. You don't come far. They go back again a little bit. It's the game to get you into the room where they're going to feed off you, basically, so that you'll stay in that room psychologically and spiritually. Lots of vacations. It kind of, when they go into this relationship with us, they will inspire you to go on vacations with them a lot or to take a lot of leisure time, giving you a kind of a sense that this is real life when it's actually not. They're enjoying the hedonism of not taking their responsibilities seriously and trying to take you away from yours and getting you to feel like this is a real relationship when it's not. They're bringing you again into the ego side of things. This is a big one. Have you found, and leave in the comments with your particular entanglement with a narcissist, they do like to push substances on us during our times with them, particularly if you're dating them, to make the whole experience, even on a physical level, be elevated. And your association with the substance abuse and the good times, you're having a few drinks with them and everything is great and you're having a lot of laughs. Again, it's not reality. But the associated brain pattern is, enjoy this person. This person makes me happy. Happiness is my survival. I know you get it. And the last thing I have here in relation to their addiction program, they have a program. Sometimes we go on these programs to become unaddicted to something. The narcissist runs a program of addiction, in my opinion. It is literally, get them addicted, then I have control of them. It's very simple. They, of course, will incite drama in relationships all around you. They'll feed off the drama because drama is a lot of emotional activity. And if they're in the center of the drama, they feel in control and empowered by all the people that are believing the persona that they're presenting. And the fact that people believe in the false mask lights it up. So drama. And who doesn't like a good drama? We can get involved with the drama, the excitement and the drama, until the drama becomes like a horror film. And we're the person the vampire is pursuing in the drama. And it all turns extremely dangerous. But initially, the drama can be exciting. Again, who doesn't like a good Netflix, whatever? There's me even liking The Walking Dead. So, we do like a good drama. Then when they have you in that psychological prison, and this is all distracting, this has taken your time away from the work you should be putting in to your self-advancement, or your doing something good in the world, or your purpose, or your children, or your next project. It's time taken out of your life where you're focusing everything on this person. And they're focusing everything on you because there's a payoff for them. The payoff for you is your destruction. So it's something to be very aware of if you're really riding high in the early stages of a relationship and there's this toxicity going on where you're being concentrated on as such. You agree, Rem, don't you? Devaluation. When you get into the de-evaluation stage with the narcissist, this is the next level of distraction. You're trying to figure out what's going on here. Like, it was really good and they're drawing away, or they're not doing what they were doing. They had me groomed into expecting a call at this time and being a certain way, and everything was going hunky-dory. And I think this usually happens at the 2 to 3 month stage, depending on whether they're living with you or living apart, and how much time you're spending, is when the mask is getting very uncomfortable and they want to lash out. So they do this by starting your torture. This is what I would call going from the addiction plan to your torture plan and their feeding time. You'll be trying to problem solve and figure out what's going on. Why are they doing this? They're criticizing me a bit. Do I have to look at something? Is there a fault with me? All those things. You're familiar with it. I know you guys are familiar with it. Doing your head in, basically. Doing your head in, not speaking to you maybe for a while, you trying to figure out why, asking them why, the whole drama around the devaluation stage. You're also trying to save them. They can be presenting as a victim, saying, I don't know if I can continue with this relationship. My ex is giving me such a hard time. I think I might need space. I might need to be on my own. I've no money. Can you help me? Etc. Can I move in with you? I've nowhere to live. So you're doing your bit of saving because that's who you are. That's who you are. You love people. You love life. You love humanity. As well as that, you can be trying to save another, to save yourself, to prove to yourself that you're worthy. There's a lot of different things that can go on in this stage, but you are still spiritually distracted because your spirit is focusing all on this person, this relationship, this dynamic, and how you fit into the world. And they're giving you their version of their world and the world, and it's confusing you because it's not your version of the world, yet they're making you feel bad when you try and be you, and then you think, well, maybe to improve myself, I should do what they're saying and look at the world through their eyes, and it's a whole mishmash mess, but it's spiritually distracting you. You're going into then when it gets to the point where this person is actually going against you, and you can say, gosh, do they even like me? They're being quite very withdrawn. They're being passively, aggressively critical by triangulating me with other people. They're spending a lot of time speaking with their ex on the phone. They're not paying their way. This isn't reciprocal. And finally, you become self-defensive because you feel you get to the stage where you've done everything and you feel, well, this isn't right. So you become self-defensive. And then when you do start to do that and move away from them, they'll be breadcrumbing you with little bits of what it felt like in the beginning and telling you, you're imagining things. You're too sensitive. I'm not doing anything. This is all in your head. It's all in your head. What? You said I was a narcissist. Oh, don't be listening to that stuff on YouTube. You know, that's all crazy stuff. You know, this is us now. We love each other. Don't be ridiculous. Then we get to the discard, and oh my God, is anything as spiritually as distracting as the discard when we literally become like the Walking Dead, because we have got whacked around psychologically, spiritually. All our world and reality has been pulled from under our feet. The narcissist has disappeared. The person who loved us is going around talking about us as if we were Attila the Hun, as if we were the tail of the devil. And, you know, when you look back at this, guys, and you go, objectively look at it, like, you kind of go, you know, you'd want to be in a lunatic asylum, or you'd want to be looking at this, you know, on TV as some kind of a nut job. This is crazy stuff. This is an adult with the emotional intelligence of a little kid in the yard who doesn't have the capacity maybe to, you know, understand why someone took their ball from them and they're crying because the ball is taken, even though the person just borrowed it. Probably a bad analogy, but I think you know where I'm coming from. It's crazy. This is not the normal trajectory for a normal relationship. If someone loves you, they do not do this. If someone hates you, or hates themselves more like, they do this. So are we spiritually distracted in the discard and the smear campaign? By God, we are. We are lost to ourselves. We feel like we do not know who we are anymore. It's a horrible experience. It's a dark experience. It's a dimmed down experience. And I'm going to go through the narcissist's kind of agenda here, or how they manage with this to keep you spiritually distracted and off your course, which empowers them no end. Their agenda is to leave you embittered and believing that you've lost out, that their way of living, they've come in and they have managed to have a relationship with you. They've managed to get away with some goodies, maybe a lot of goodies, devastate your life, or the people that can pick up that something is so badly wrong and put boundaries in enough for the narcissist to go before they've got the goodies, you've saved yourself. And sometimes that's wonderful in that you've saved yourself, maybe in financial terms, in other terms. In other ways, you're kind of stuck thinking, should I have tried harder with the narcissist for the relationship to succeed? You know, as you put those boundaries in and meet a pain barrier. Whichever way, you don't come off great, but at least if you can understand what happened, you can move forward quicker. I promise you. This is the spiritually distracting discard and smear campaign. You feel changed. The narcissist wants you to feel changed. The narcissist wants you not to trust another single living individual because they don't trust a single living individual. They want you like them so they can prove there is no such thing as joy, no such thing as happiness, no such thing as love, no such thing as good people. And they want you off your spiritual path and journey, off your purpose. They want all that good energy gone, replaced by bad, dark energy, so that you can go out then and be a dark version of yourself, just like them. And that's why I feel it's a spiritual war. And I don't actually care how nutty I sound, because I've experienced this. People I've coached experience this. And it's okay not to believe the extreme version of it. And if you haven't seen it or felt it, I can understand why you wouldn't. But perhaps just keep it at the back of your mind in case you feel like taking it a step further with that narcissist, just to see or to prove to yourself that, you know, that's wrong or whatever. The next part of this stage is that you're so addicted still and groomed by the narcissist from their addiction stage and the distraction stage of the devaluation that you have no motivation for your own life from what it was before to recreating a new life for yourself. Your creativity is at an all-time low because you've been distracted from feeding yourself the good stuff of life. You've been distracted from being in your higher self, in your higher energy, in your higher manifestation state, where you believe in good and you believe things can happen and you believe in consequences. So the narcissist wants to disillusion you in relation to your worldview. I just want to say something here in relation to just thinking about this, because a lot of us think when the narcissist goes off into the sunset that they've won, and that, you know, you see this in comments even, it doesn't end badly for narcissists. No, they've loads of money and they've gone off and they've great relationship now, etc., etc. I can tell you that's an illusion. That's an illusion, because if you want to quantify it, I'll put it like this to you. Yes, money protects to a certain extent, but your enemies catch up on you. Your enemies, or your paranoia, or your fear. Because if something is built on badness, it attracts badness and it attracts those consequences. Just like a good person, say you have an interaction with a person who rips you off, and at some point in time, that person needs you back again to give them something extra of your time. Are you going to do that? Are you going to, one, maybe ignore that person? Are you going to maybe pursue them for losses? Or are you definitely not going to go the extra mile for them? Then you have the person who has high integrity. You know, you have a chat with them maybe, and they don't take advantage of you. In fact, they give you something extra for what you've done for them. The next time they come looking for something and you're time short or whatever, or you see their email coming in, you know, in a whole bunch of other emails, do you ignore it? Or do you go to that email and you give that person what they gave you and you try and give them even more back? In my opinion, our behaviors and what we do in life eventually come back to either haunt us or present us with the fruits of our labors. It may not always seem fair. It may not always appear. You may not see justice. But I feel at this stage in life, I've seen it happen more times than I can count. So in the majority, this particular nasty way of living and striving for the best way of living, none of us are perfect, far from it. But it's in the majority cause and effect, I believe. So you're in a withdrawal stage at this time, at this stage, and, you know, if someone has said that they love you, and if they've made you feel really good, and they've got you hooked, and then they've proceeded to take you down in stages, you know, there's that the boiling of the frog, and the water gets very hot until the frog realizes that they're in hot water. They didn't realize they were getting into it, similar to what a narcissist does with us. And then we have used up all our resources and concentrated on the narcissist and not nourishing ourselves spiritually. We've been spiritually distracted by this dullard, this darkness, this user, this vile nature who cares less about anything other than themselves and isn't actually honoring themselves by filling themselves with the fruits of their destruction. What the narcissist wanted to do, and we hit on this at the beginning of the podcast, is to turn you into a lesser version of them, to take you off that path that you were working on that can provide a multiple of light in the world. You were trying to do something good, even if it was your business, your creativity, you were trying to make some money. Bet you would have given a donation to some good cause. Bet you would have given someone a job that deserved it. Bet that what you were doing in life was going to help somebody. And that was, imagine if the narcissist succeeds in keeping you in that dull place, in that spiritually distracted Walking Dead state that they are in. They want you to join them. They want you to join the horde of, people going along with nothing going on other than where can they get the next live human being to eat and turn them into them. That's why the Walking Dead analogy really struck home to me, in that it's a very simplistic explanation of what a narcissist tries to do. They want to increase their numbers. Don't be a food source for a narcissist. Don't be distracted spiritually any more than you need to. Really work hard when you are in the discard smearing stage of, particularly the smearing stage, when one of these creatures is smearing your name. I take that as a badge of honor. Take that as a badge of honor. They obviously are threatened by you, in having to do this. A pathetic ego they have needs you to be down when they're threatened by the fact that you have the ability and you head towards joy, manifestation, peace, happiness, humanity, humor, good times, exciting times. Because sometimes I think, when we describe, normal human beings, maybe it's more of the channels where there are narcissists giving advice, they make them sound quite exciting, and they're actually not. They love to stir up drama. They can appear exciting, but it's a malign, dark force that, of course, is like a horror film exciting, but ultimately ends very badly. Ultimately ends in depression, ends in financial ruin. It's an illusory glitter. All that glitters is not gold. Guys, I would like to recommend a book by one of our community. Someone was looking for book recommendations there in an email, and this book was kindly sent to me all across the water by George Kellogg. And the book, I'm going to hold it up now, but it always, I think, looks backwards, doesn't it, when you have it in the phone? So I'll read it out. But the book actually, so it has a picture of a frog and a scorpion. We're guessing who is the narcissist. Exactly. So it's a very interesting book because it is a guide to narcissistic abuse and how to overcome it, and how to thrive, and it's a motivating book as well. But it's actually a guy goes fishing, and he sits down on the rock fishing, and this little frog sits beside him and starts to talk to him. So he has a conversation with the frog, and the frog explains to him all about what narcissists do, and he becomes friends with the frog. So it's a very creative and amusing way of explaining the whole narcissistic abuse schmozzle. And there's a conversation going on, which makes it more interesting. So there's a dialogue going on initially, and I love it. So it's a great book, and I'm sure it's available on Amazon. So the title again is The Scorpion Effect, A Guide to Narcissistic Abuse by George E. Kellogg, MSSM. Thank you, George, for sending that book. Thank you, anyone that does anything for our cause. Thank you for making a comment. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. That's doing your bit in the world to put more light out there, to save more people from going down into this deep well of despair that we're left in post-narcissistic abuse. And the very last thing I'd like to say, well, two last things. One is, on this channel, we do operate a buddy program where people can leave a buddy request in the comments. I'd suggest setting up a new email that you can share with anyone that agrees to be your buddy. That's a support buddy. You can email and talk about your journey just to have someone to connect with. Again, this is totally up to you. It's nothing, I don't organize it. I don't do anything. It's just if you want to be in the comments and look for a buddy in your time zone or answer someone else's request to be a buddy, hopefully something like that could support you on your journey. And the very last thing I'll say is, I think I'm about 2 or 3 weeks away from releasing my own book, our book on narcissism. And I will be telling you more about it, telling you more about the journey, about how it came about, what it's about, where it's available, and we'll be releasing those details in the upcoming podcasts. For now, please take very good care of yourselves. I feel like I know a lot of you out there from the coaching. I hope your journeys are going well. I'm thinking about you. So is Remy, as you know. He's always part of the coaching process somewhere in the room. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate all of your support more than I can ever possibly say. Bye for now.